types of editing do I do for my books? The short answer is all types. When I wrote my first book, I didn't have the funds available to get it professionally edited. So I did my best to edit it myself with the help of beta readers, with the intention of hiring a professional once I was making enough money off it and could afford it. As it turned out, I realized I was really good at editing my own writing. I'm terrible at editing other people's stuff, but for some reason, I'm really good at editing my own work. So even though I could hire an editor now, I've gotten used to doing it myself and even enjoy it, so I've just continued doing that on my own. I want to pause here to emphasize that having good editing is really important. If you don't have strengths specifically in this area, I strongly encourage you to hire someone who does. There are loads of great editors out there who regularly work with indie authors for reasonable fees, so don't shy away from working with them just because I don't. That said, when I'm in revision mode, I go from big to small. I start out by reading the overall book all the way through, and I look for big structural problems. Any characters that aren't working, or anywhere the pacing isn't good. Maybe I realize some scenes or chapters need to be in a different order or just need to be removed entirely. I try to find anything about the book that's just outright broken. I fix those big things first before I move in for a closer look at the book. And that's when I read through it for phrasing. I make sure everything is clear and the words that I use are the right ones to convey the emotions I'm going for. I do any rewrites at that point, and I keep at it until I'm happy with how every line in the book sounds. At that point, I zoom in even closer, and that's when I do the proofreading. I look for misspellings, typos, bad punctuation, any little nitpicky things that might have slipped through the other editing rounds. And to be clear, each of those 3 editing phases requires me to read through the book multiple times each. It's an iterative process where I go through the book, I fix things, and then I go through it again. I do that over and over, and I end up going through the book just countless times before I'm finished. And it's important to do the big book-breaking edits first because the most stuff gets changed in that phase. It would be a waste of time to proofread a chapter first because I'm likely to just nuke an entire chapter when I'm doing the developmental editing. So I always go developmental, then line editing, and then proofreading. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's my general process for editing my own books.